Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tights Frame of Mind, episode 23. I am one of your hosts, Pantyhose King, and with me is.
Rob speaking himself.
Now, we have a fun episode lined up. We have a special guest coming on to the show, and emphasis on coming on because this particular performer is very well known in let's say I don't want to use the PRON word, but Pantyhose PRON, he is very well known. And I would wager to say he is a star in his own right. But we won't get to who that is just yet because he has not come on yet. But we have some news that we'd like to discuss. So, Rob, will you news us?
All right, so coming in live with the news, it's Rob speaking. Now I'm just Justin with you. Now we actually found something rather interesting. I don't know for all you pantyhose enthusiasts out there, you fetishists, all you great people that we'd love to talk to so well. And I found some disturbing news. First and foremost, for those of y'all who love Hanes Alive and or basically any of the Hanes products that's out there and legs pantyhose. So found out recently that Hanes, the company itself, is selling off their hosiery division. I was quite shocked to hear this.
And am I to be under the correct impression that we do not know if anyone's buying it? It's literally in limbo.
As far as I know, I don't know as to who is buying it. If anybody out there knows, or if they already know what's going on, hey, let us know in the show notes or on Patreon or even in our chats. Either way, we'll see if we can try to get the news out there. But so far with my deep dive, I had not heard anything just yet. So as far as I know, but the main reason, primarily because I think it was like about a year or two ago, they made some bad projections, and what it was that the retailers they were stocking up so much, and they were thinking, oh great, we're getting all these orders in. Well, come to find out, 2023 comes around and zero orders. So they end up selling off their North Carolina mill to a totally different company and a few other mills across the world.
Not good.
Not good. So the hosiery that I grew up with and started off with, for all I know, could be made somewhere else because I know there's several mills like in I think Taiwan, no Thailand, excuse me, Thailand and a couple other places.
I mean, and no offense to Thailand or Taiwan, but it's just super far away from
Yeah.
us. Like, I mean, I just know that as an American, getting American made pantyhose is probably just going to be quicker. Plus,
Yes.
and I know that it's sacrilegious to say all this, but look, I'm of the camp that the legs sheer energy, medium support, suntan, fucking amazing. I mean, come on. I
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people who are hoity-toity who have really only wear Europeans. They're like, it's not good pantyhose. It's not good. No, it is. It's sort of like I'm tired of people telling me that like just because I've never had like German chocolate that I can't like a Hershey bar. I'm like, but I can, and I do.
It's a great analogy, but yes.
I have liked a Hershey bar and I continue to like a Hershey bar. I'm completely satisfied with a Hershey bar. In fact, Hershey bar is old reliable. I know that there are better chocolates, just like I know there are better hosts. However, for durability, for just like everyday like running around, like it's the best. It makes my legs look great, and it's becoming more and more difficult to find them in
Yes,
places.
they are. Yes, they are. I would go to one Haynes place, which is where I used to get them all the time,
Oh, good luck
and
with
their
that.
stock. Yeah, good luck. I mean, I went on there and I would say about a couple of months ago, and I had mentioned this in one of the I think the Legwear's Unisex Fashion forums on Facebook. I had said, if anybody noticed that it's becoming harder and harder to find, especially the active supports, which is what I used a lot. That was my mainstay. And then having a harder time, even on Amazon of all places, where you can get damn near anything, couldn't find Hanes Alive, and or even in my size for that matter.
You couldn't find Haynes alive. Now I was having trouble finding legs, but Haynes alive even?
Yeah. Now, and check this out. So I over the past several years, I've noticed a gradual decrease of the hosiery at the Hanes outlets. Like when my wife and I were up in New Jersey, they were having like this big clearance sale, and I mean there was this massive bin of nothing but just pantyhose galore. And I bet you I walked out of there with like $40 to $50 worth of pantyhose for $20.
Oh, what
And
size
then
do you wear of the Hanes Alive then?
I wear a size F.
F.
Yes, I used to wear.
$51?
Yeah, I bought $51 worth for $20.
But they're $51 a pair?
No, 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 no.
That's what
I
they're
used
charging here at her room. Or sorry, we're not sponsored. Herroom.com. It's a F barely there, five left for 51 bucks a pop. Isn't that expensive?
Whoa. Yes, that's more than a freaking pair of Wolfords.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I've never bought Hanes Alive. I don't think so. I wouldn't know
No,
if
Hanes Alive generally goes for about roughly $12 to $15 a pair.
that's what I thought. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And I would go to the outlet because you would get the discount for it, and it's usually like a pair, three pairs of Hanes Alive for like maybe $20.
Oh my God.
And
People are
then you get the four,
gouging.
yeah, and then you get the four pack of the active support for like maybe $5 to $7.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's gout. People are gouging. They're gouging.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're looking for it.
Oh wait, it says here you can get a size F of on I can't tell what you ever go on Amazon to try to figure out what color you're actually picking. You think you
Yes.
picked the right color, and then you've delivered, you have it delivered, and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to order this color. Like
Yeah.
I that's another bane of my existence. But another thing that we would discuss, are there any other, there's other news that we have talked about. Maybe we can hint at what we're, kind of planning. I think probably along the lines of we might be doing a little bit of an expose without naming names, but we are planning on doing a further deep dive into companies that started out as being pro men wearing and have, let's say, become more successful and have slowly stepped away from being pro men or even being recognizable of men at all. Like
Yes.
for instance, I did a little joke this week on the Facebook about a certain company whose uh, let's say ad choices, I think tantamount to what would happen if you put like monkeys in a room and just had them dash it out. I do not know what this company's doing. And if y'all want to go to either my Facebook, or if you want to go to our Instagram, I will post the photos there so you can see who I'm talking about. And I'm sure many of you've seen the ads. It features a variety of models, each of them looking like they're from outer space. Um, what are your thoughts on that, Rob? What do you think about these fucking weird ads that are just coming up left and right?
You know, it really pains me to see what's been going on because of how at one point, I mean, I used to model for some of these companies. I used to sing their praises. I mean, for those of y'all who follow me on Instagram, you know who I might be talking about.
I don't
And
follow you though on Instagram. Never have, never will.
no, you don't follow me. Not what's I
No.
don't even follow you for that matter.
Oh, you're
Who
such
are
a
you, by the
liar.
way?
You're such a liar. You followed me.
I
I know you
stalk
follow
you.
me.
I know you
Anyway, I'm
follow me
sorry.
too.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just you can calm down. We all know that you are totally sexually attracted to me. Just admit it and move on with the story. It's clear. It's clear.
Well, I just can't stop staring at your legs. I mean, come on. Let's be
Uh
honest here.
well, continue as you were saying.
So there have been several companies that you have aforementioned, and I remember some of them where they would show men in just kind of like I don't know weird poses, so to say. And
Let's
I
say
remember
maybe
doing
like a pile driver pose,
maybe a pile driver pose, yes.
a receiving the
Maybe
pile drive. I would say.
I would say also trying to look like he's being an acrobat in the middle of a city. And
Yikes.
yeah, yeah, yikes. Looking more like a clown than anything else, really. and which personally I found was kind of weird. And I remember doing a review for one of these companies, and I mentioned how the seams were just slightly bothersome. They come,
And
and I remember the person coming back to me saying, "Oh, you're just being dramatic."
by this seems being a little off, like, are we saying like ripping into the balls, like
As
just
in
being
like
like,
as in like
eh.
just as in just like being really irritating within the crotch area and
Mhm.
just yeah.
I know who you're talking about, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't just you being dramatic. It was like, unless you weigh 120 pounds and have a vagina,
Yep.
then you're out of luck. And I don't see that as pro male wears, because most of us are not built like Celine Dion.
No.
It's I mean, like, and that's the thing. And so what I never expected from companies is that, like, I always, if you'd asked me like 10 years ago, like 20 years ago when I started posting pictures, like, would you be like, what do you want to see? And I'd be like, I want to see models, like male models in photos, wearing pantyhose to make it normal.
Right.
Well, it's sort of like the monkey's paw thing happened, where I got my wish, but I didn't specify. And now I see photos of men wearing pantyhose, yet they do nothing for me other than, and this is depressing, other than make me think, you know what, if I thought men wearing pantyhose was weird or off-putting before, this is not helping me change my mind.
Right.
And is that a nefarious thing? Is because I don't want to get a little, I don't want to get QAnon, but is that what's happening? I mean, are these companies making a mockery of men who wear, and yet still claiming to be supportive? Because there are companies who do it right? Like,
Yeah.
we've interviewed like Care Hosiery, for instance.
Yeah, they
Even
do it
Robert
right.
Safko, right, years ago, had his photos stolen, and you've all seen his photos, like, they're iconic. You all know the blonde hunk guy. It's the red background. You've seen him before. I'm sure many
Yes.
of you out there have fapped to it. Look, hey, we all, like, let's just be honest. But there are people who do it right, but then there's just this onslaught of, I don't know if it's like they're trying to be artistic, or they're trying to do something. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if it's one thing if you're in the middle of the city and you might be doing a pose that maybe everybody else would do, but if you're doing something where you're splitting your leg up against a building and like red tights or something like that, I'm sorry that and you're wearing something that looks almost clownish. I mean,
Almost. You're being nice.
yeah, I'm being very nice.
You can say
I you got
clownish.
to remember, I'm nice cop here. You know, for people, you got to understand. I'm nice cop. He's bad cop. He will
What are you
escort you
talking
from place
about? You shut your mouth. I'm nice. God damn it.
to.
It's obvious.
Ah,
Can you believe this, audience? I'm getting, how that fucker is pinning me as the bad cop. Oh, the nerve.
the night. Oh,
But
how dare me?
but yeah, how dare me? But it does seem nefarious, and it's one of the things that we will be talking about with our special guest, who is 5 minutes away. I just got the text, so T minus. But
Ooh,
now, and sort of to preface what this chat's going to be about. So, okay, this is technically not the first time that we had an episode with this person. We had an episode. Tragedy struck, and the recording did not happen. It was such a shitty thing, right, Rob? I mean,
I was heartbroken. Heartbroken. That was such a
literally.
great interview.
It sucked so much that we lost it to the ether. We're going to try to recreate it, but there's so much that this person has to add. I'm going to preface them a little bit by saying, like, I knew them when they were not even showing their face, and they were not even public. I mean, they weren't even out to the message boards. They were just private wearer who happened to step out. So I've watched this person go from like little, like, pantyhose egg to like soaring eagle, and it's awesome to watch. But not only that, what we're going to talk about has a lot of interesting things that I think really will benefit guys who have maybe some, let's say, some difficulties with accepting that they're wares. They want to wear
Yes.
publicly, and some ways to actually get over those issues in a way that I think is, I mean, I feel stupid for not even thinking about it, to be honest. And I don't want to give it away, but I feel like an actual moron.
I mean, listening to what he had to say the last time, I mean, especially towards the end when it really got good, and it was like it's one of those things that is like almost I wouldn't say history making. No, I will say it's history making.
Please don't dagger in my heart, the harder. Just
No, it is history
this
making, but
conversation, you guys, it was so good. It was so
it was
good.
awesome.
It's,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so glad I got to have it. I'm so pissed you don't get to hear it. We're gonna recreate it because I will say this. At least now we have the knowledge of knowing where to go with it, right?
Yes,
we're gonna
yes,
laser beam it.
yes, absolutely.
Now a little bit of just like do a little bit of ad for you. Okay, Rob, you're doing OnlyFans. What are you doing on OnlyFans lately? Are you doing anything fun?
Oh my gosh. I've been adding to a little bit of more video. That's I started doing a little bit more in the way of upskirts or up kilts.
He's
Yes,
up kilting.
I'm up kilting. And if you are a Patreon and you look closely as to what I am wearing,
He is
yes,
wearing
I am
Cecilia de Raphael, right?
I am I am wearing Cecilia de Raphael on my hands and arms. And
Uh-huh.
then now on my legs today I have Golden Lady 40s.
Oh,
These
those
are
are nice.
seamless. Yes, they are
I
seamless.
would touch them if I could reach through the computer.
Uh, why are you not reaching through this computer? Come on.
I
Right now.
don't know how, but trust me,
All right.
in my heart of hearts,
In your
I'm
mind's
rubbing
eye.
your I'm rubbing your inner thigh with,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll just take care of that right there.
right? You're
There
like,
you
I'm
go.
just gonna try. That's the worst part of doing a pantyhose podcast, right? You're like, I am not going to touch myself as we're recording. I'm going to be
We're so busy teasing each other.
well, but it's true though. I look, don't act like you haven't like started to, like, when we're recording, you're like, I could just quietly rub one out and no one would know because at least with the audio, right? I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that the video on YouTube would be a problem. But let's just say,
Yes.
listeners out there, it's very hard to not touch yourself when you're wearing pantyhose, talking about pantyhose, seeing somebody else wearing pantyhose. I mean, it's sort of like, it's like going into a buffet starving and just trying not to eat when everyone around you is eating, and also dumping food on you. You're
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
the great, it's one of the great difficulties, but we're trudging through it. We're doing this for you.
Yes. We're here for you. We're taking care of business for you.
But if you do want to see us take care of business, or if you want to see us anything like that, we got some fun stuff on the Patreon. So definitely do consider signing up if you want to see extended episodes. All of the episodes we put up there are extended. All of them feature full video. All of them feature us in various sexy pantyhose outfits. There's even some
Yes.
things that you can see that are not available on the YouTube because they're that naughty.
No. Never.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean never?
Never.
No,
No.
they're totally naughty, Rob. I mean, what are you
Oh,
talking?
no, totally not. Never, ever, not naughty.
I mean, it's does this ring a bell? Hello. Actually, does this
Oh,
buzz a bell?
There it is.
Yep.
There it
This
is.
is like, this is my microphone, you understand? Should I, when our guest comes in, should I be like, hello, hello, hello.
Yes, totally.
Welcome to our show. My mic's not working. I don't know why.
Oh, oh, it's
Ladies and gentlemen,
buzzing.
I'm holding a personal massage, a personal massage, let's say, apparatus to my mouth. I think it used to be called Hitachi at one point in time, but it's not anymore. I think that Hitachi is like a thing of the past, right?
I think so. That you might have to rename it to Hitachi.
Hitachi. I'm
Yes.
like, does this smell like thousands and thousands of comedy shows? And by
Hmm.
comedy shows, I mean orgasms.
Oh yes,
I don't
orgasms.
think I've used this thing on my back once. Like,
Oh,
I mean, why would I do that when I've got a perfectly good crotch?
yes.
And
Why
sometimes the
not?
crotch can get tense. It can get very tense,
Oh
and
yeah.
no, you got to relieve
Oh
it.
the vibrator I have, man, is like even just like right along here. I mean, not inside, but just right here. It's just as fantastic as well, as long as it's right there along the pantyhose. You try to do it right on the skin. No, don't work.
Oh
No, put it on
no, God,
pantyhose.
no. Oh,
No, it's got to
that's
be on pantyhose.
yeah. If there's no pantyhose, it's almost like violent. Well, not almost. It is
Well, it does get a little violent, yes.
because then everything that because the pantyhose holds everything together, right? It
Yes.
holds everything in place, like it holds everything snugly, so there's not like that kind of like thing that would
It's
happen
also
when
the
it's
slide factor. The slide
the
factor.
slide factor. I can tell you, Rob's a fan of the slide factor. Rob, if you ever want to get on his good side, slide factor. Yep, that's
Slide.
yep. They say the way to a man's heart is through your slide factor,
Even better.
and it is better. So our guest should be arriving in any second now. I'm going to just double check. 1 second. And I'm gonna do something here that I've never done before, but we're gonna pray that I can do this. I'm gonna cut this part out because I can do this. And I mean, okay, for our patrons, you guys get to see the whole thing. You're gonna see me texting our guest and just checking. By the way, wearing gloves and texting is almost as worse as wearing Cecilia de Raphael and texting, isn't it?
Oh my God. Everything I've touched is like everything just slides out of my hands. And, I was trying to get my headsets in and they were just falling everywhere.
It's true. I'm on the phone now. I'm calling our guest right now. Are you coming on the show? Huh? Okay, because we're waiting for you right now. Yes, yes, we are. This is live. We're waiting for you live.
Live.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. We've just been talking you up as the sexy. Oh, there he is. That's
Boy, that was quick.
that's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Is it still recording? Are we still recording? We
It's
are
still,
still recording.
I see recording.
I see recording too. Victory. Now we just got to get Vice. There we go.
There we go.
Excellent. Okay. I've been talking you up. We've been talking you up. You are our very special guest. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You're a little distance, a little bit far away, I think. Look at those.
It's a
That's a nice
personality thing.
What?
I said that's just.
That's a huge couch.
Oh, God, why is that so? Well, I mean,
Like
I'm a huge
that is a
human.
huge couch, isn't it?
That was an awesome couch. I used to
I
have
know,
something
right?
like that a long time ago.
Like you could
Yeah.
literally like
You can live on that thing.
I could
That's-
splay on that.
This is the reason for marrying rich and then divorcing poorly.
Well, I don't think you divorced poorly if that's what you got.
Oh, no. Please. I bought myself a Jeep in this. And then but yeah.
I mean, so
Rob, where are you from again? Because that accent, man.
I am from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. I've heard of it.
you've heard of Virginia?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've seen Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
So have I.
So this is our special guest now, Geoff. Geoff is I declared you as I would say that you are a PORN star of Pantyhose now.
Oh,
You are. Come on.
I was doing the spelling in my head.
Yeah. And don't say the word because YouTube will go But tell us.
Super tasteful. Yeah.
It is super tasteful. The way that you have the S word is very tasteful. I don't know if I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. It rhymes with plex. is what I was
Adult
saying.
relations.
I'm talking about fucking here. We're talking about fucking. So you can
Okay,
say fucking.
I'm allowed to fuck. Okay.
You can say it's just YouTube will look. They look for the weirdest things, like nipples and the S word. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally had a whole CDR shirt ready to go and everything, but it showed my nipples, and it's like, no, you need to put a shirt on or something.
Look, I'm not enforcing it. It's YouTube. If
I know,
I had
no,
my
no.
way, we would all be in sheer outfits and everybody would be naked and prancing about. But we can't.
Well, I would have had my dick out and everything for you know. I mean, come on.
Well, I
Prove
mean,
it.
I would expect nothing more but that from you, you know? And who knows? Once the episode, maybe for our patrons, we could do a little patron boner bonus where it goes off in a direction. Who knows? But really, what we're here to talk to is last time we talked about how we lost the episode to the ether, Geoff, and we were in great mourning about it. And your evolution as from somebody who, when I met you, you were completely you were not public about wearing. You were not even open to talking about the general public. Over this span of time, you've gone from somebody who was completely behind closed doors to somebody who is doing adult films like with Pantyhose, and the evolution of that happening and how you got there, which we talked a lot about you using therapy, and that's what we're going to focus on tonight. We were going to hear your story, and
Sure.
So refresh my drink. What is the name of that doctor? Tell us the story about your doctor, because I know that you have a problem saying the word pantyhose. You had a problem, right? Pantyhose, right?
No, I don't like. I call it one of my 3P words that I just don't like.
What are the other ones?
Hair around the junk, and
pubis.
Yep, and then and then just like for underwear. Yeah.
Underwear?
Panties.
Yeah.
Panties? You don't like panties either?
I don't like that word. Do I like them? Sure.
Well, okay.
He loves them. It's the word he don't like.
I just don't like the word. It's a thing. It has to do with like the connection of that it's only used like for work, you know. It's only used for like children, and so I immediately associate. Yeah.
So Geoff has another job that's completely not sexy. It's a very real world thing, and I didn't mean to go down that dark road. No, I just
about it.
Well, I just don't want there to be any sort of like we're discussing
for sure
like that and that because I don't want people to just go because they could be enjoying themselves and that could just be like.
You've met me, so hey, if there wasn't someone to stay on topic, you might need another person.
Oh, stop it! You got to stop downing yourself. So let's talk about the therapy, the pantyhose therapy that you partook in. Tell us that story again. It's a great story.
Yeah, I was just looking. I was in Kansas City. Sure, it's a great place. Dark time for me, but and so I was in Kansas Village is what I called it, and I googled gay addiction therapists, and then whenever I would go to a webpage, I just hit Command F addiction, right? So I found one of them within like the first couple of minutes. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to redirect you." And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah. When is your next opening? I need somebody to tell me to shut the fuck up." So I was working with Doc Chuck for about 6 months, purely under the idea that it was like to work through my alcoholism, and help hopefully not relapse again or get sober. But about 6 months into it, he had this thing of making sure to say,
"You can do it."
I'll say it. I just don't like the word. I just say hose, but pantyhose. And he would make a point to say that a lot. And when I would talk about my anxiety building or whatever was happening at that time, he would redirect our conversation to incorporating pantyhose into my sex life and just he kind of normalized that word. Clearly, I normalized it for me, but hose for me, right?
Look,
And
he did a good job.
thank you.
No,
He's probably like, "Ooh, I need a challenge," and I'm good now. It's not a diss on me. I'm like proud of where I am now. And but he, I go, Doc Chuck. He goes, well, I'm not a doctor, but I go, why do you keep redirecting when I'm talking about wanting to drink to my sex life? And he goes, uh, he's like, well, as a sex addiction therapist, kind of what I do. You know what?
That's when it dawned on you, is you did not realize.
It didn't even dawn on me. He told me. He's like, it was a Mack truck, you know? It's like, he goes, did you even go to my webpage? I go, yeah, I saw addiction. He goes, go to it right now. Very first word on his page, sex, addiction, therapy. Like, and he was just incredible. And he helped me realize that I was holding on. A lot of my shame played into shame of a child being gay in small town Iowa. It's a state. Right. And then in addition to that, like if I'm going to be gay, I'm going to make sure that I don't act gay, right?
Right.
And I'm putting air quotes up for anyone who can't see that. And act gay. But so like the idea of wearing pantyhose, you're welcome, to me was it was not a feminine thing. Like for me, it's not my type, right? And for me, it's the feel, it's a texture, it's a feel, and I'm sure no one else gets that, right?
Oh no, who
no, gosh, no.
Who would understand that?
Who would have that? No,
I don't wear it for the
Let
feel.
Me educate.
The feel of the look of pantyhose. No, I wear it.
We're sitting here feeling ours. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm definitely not feeling myself.
No, we're not feeling ourselves. No.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But as you were saying,
it's fun to watch.
Right, we were talking about how hard it is to shoot a pantyhose podcast, right? While wearing them, talking to other people wearing them, and not just straight up just go and do a like spank bank marathon. It's very difficult. And like I think what I'm saying here is, again, we're doing the Lord's work by doing this, right? Like we're not touching ourselves for our audience, and that to me is more than anything. But to bring it back to the shame factor, you worked through that with Doc Chuck, and did that also, how did that also work with your addiction to alcohol? I mean, I'd imagine it benefited you in ways that you didn't even think about.
I still use some of my stuff with clients today, and like he impacted my life immensely in the best ways possible. And it was, am I allowed to talk about what's legal in Illinois but in California but not in Colorado but not all the states?
I'm sure.
I'm not talking about anything body related. It's green.
It's what?
Green.
Oh, you mean marijuana?
Okay.
Yeah.
Call it something special.
If somebody gets upset about pot, I'd be like, all right, well, I guess you can go listen to another podcast.
Okay, right. Yeah. So I was like 3 months sober, and and I had a meeting with him. He's like, well, how's sobriety going? And I'm like, I haven't drank. It's been like days. And I go, I did get stoned. He goes, I don't care. He's like, that's not like I was nervous to tell him, because I'm like, I don't want anyone to restart my clock. And what he brought to my attention, I did get stoned and he goes, do you ever think to yourself that I would use a chemical to, when I'm feeling uncomfortable, whenever I'm feeling or experiencing something that I don't want to be present in that moment. So I use that as an escape. He goes, I'm not saying you're addicted to pot, but weed is doing that same thing that booze was doing for you. And I was like, and then, and just a lot of it all centered around shame for me. And then, so the idea of being gay and then this thing that is looked at, I don't, maybe around the world, I don't, at least in our
Well,
society.
I
Yeah.
will say that I have had personal experience with gay men who even closeted their own wearing of pantyhose because
Oh yeah.
they they see it as, and I really do believe this. And I've said this before again, it's rooted in a misogynistic thing. It's like if I'm gay, I don't want to be the feminine gay because to be
Mm.
feminine is to be acting like a woman. And just the way that all, bisexual guys or whatever, guys who are worried about being perceived as gay, they're worried because if being perceived as gay means you're being perceived as feminine, i.e., they see me as less than because that's how
Mm-hmm.
they treat women, how the world
Yeah,
treats women.
and
And
it's in the
Mm.
same way, even in the straight world. I mean, a lot of guys they hide that fact, and because they don't want to be perceived as gay or feminine or less than.
exactly. And to the one or two actual straight guys who wear pantyhose out there, I say, because I mean, look, I'm just saying. I love y'all, but Kinsey twos. I mean, there are some Kinsey ones out there. I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm saying, yeah, there are some full blown hetero wearers out there. I don't
Yes.
mean to. I don't mean to be, dismissive of that.
Mm.
But I do think that your point is it's very true. There is a fear of being. It's all rooted in the fear of being perceived as feminine, which, when you break it down, is ridiculous. And you know
Yeah.
it's a silly thing, but because our society has drilled it into us that this kind of thing is, it becomes second nature for men, because we just automatically, without even thinking of it, you could even ask somebody who could consider himself a feminist, hey, do you think that you ever do anything that has tones that are rooted in hatred of women? You would say no, but it sneaks up on you like that. And are you wearing layers?
Yeah. These have a hole in their feet though, and it's driving me bonkers because they're one of my favorite pairs. You
Oh,
know how
that's a
I feel about
bummer.
sheer, right?
Well, yeah, but I've seen you in sheer before, mister. So don't you sass me. When I first started wearing, I mean, when we first started contacting, you were sheer wearer.
Yeah,
You
but
definitely
like the
were
more
sheer.
sheer, the better, right? For me.
Oh, I love
Am I
sheer.
wearing two layers? Maybe I ain't. Oh, haha.
I've done that before. Like after, like, say, a session of like, feeling myself, maybe performing a little bit on the chatterbait. I'm like, oh yeah, I have that layer on. But you sweat so much it just becomes second skin, or third or fourth or fifth or 12th.
Yeah, it looks like a winter coat, like one of the puffy ones eventually.
Yeah,
I
you look
can't
Uh,
puffed up
do.
afterwards. You either look puffed up or you look like a sausage, one or the other.
Oh God, yeah. When you take off, like when you take it off, and you're like, oh, I look like I've been rubber banded all over myself. Like, but you're like, but it's worth it because I think probably maybe the blood flow not going through entirely was making it a little bit more fun. Maybe a little autoerotic as we were. But to bring it back to the therapy, which, and I feel like such a moron for not even considering this as a viable option for guys and wearing, like, maybe everybody out there should consider going and talking to a sex therapist who helps break it down. I mean, because you have an impartial third party person who is going to give you the brass tacks, the actual reality, right? That pantyhose wearing is not uncommon. I mean, it's just, I mean, not uncommon.
Far more common than I ever imagined.
It's
Is
super
that
common.
fair to say? Right? Yeah.
It's honestly, I looked this up on, like, say, just for funsies, on FetLife. It's listed as the number 49 of all fetishes. Now,
Really?
mind you, there are things like gangbang is listed as a fetish ahead of pantyhose, which I do not think is a fetish. That is just an activity that you go
Yeah.
to. Like, you don't, I have a fetish for gangbangs. Like, no, that's not how it works. You don't have a fetish for pussy, or you have a fetish for like
Oh,
oral sex.
another
That's
P
not how
word.
that
There we go.
works.
Yeah. There was, dang it, I was doing research for one of my chats with college students about the difference between kink and fetish, and because I didn't know that there was a difference,
Oh,
right?
really?
And yeah, and I clearly remember it well because I was about to Google it. But and so it, I mean, if people consider it a kink or fetish, Cool. Right.
think
So
that
it is what a certain thing, typically an item though, like you're saying,
that's the fetish difference.
that
Item,
is
yeah.
an item, right? But I was like, what about fisting? No?
Well, probably no, because that's a kink, because you graduate into it, right? Like it has to, I mean, it's you're using a body part and a body part, which are not, they're not items. Like you could, yeah, no, I think that qualifies as a kink.
I was
Yeah, I
like,
would say
people are
that would
listening, they're
definitely
like,
qualify as a kink. Yeah, definitely.
sure. I'm
because
with you. Sure.
because kinks, they develop over time, whereas the fetish hits you hard usually early in life. Like I don't know, how old were you when you got the calling for pantyhose, Geoff? When were you?
I still remember like exactly where I was when I was in
Mm,
fourth grade. And
me too.
yeah, and we're
Twinsies.
about the same age, aren't we?
I
57.
won't reveal my actual age, but I'm 3,000 years old. But no,
Oh my gosh.
yes, I'm a child.
Great
I was
skincare
born in
regimen.
the early '80s. I'm older than you for sure, I think.
Yeah. I'm in 80s baby.
I'm 40. I'm 42.
Yeah.
I won't be like that.
I'm look,
42.
I'm a 70s baby. I'm about to turn 50. So
Oh
But and
God,
they're
what's
wearing
that
tie
like?
dye. I don't understand.
Well, he's a
Love it.
hippie. He's a
I love
pantyhose
it.
hippie, kinkster
I
fetishist.
love it. I love it.
hey, I'll
But
take it.
Yeah, I was. We were actually in again. Like it is. We found a pair of my. I was with my little sister and we were playing in basement,
mhm.
and I'm not. It was my grandparents, but I want to make it clear in one of your earlier episodes, right? You had talked about it, and it's like it is not a turn on, right? If anything, it would had zero to do with. I have no clue who they were. They're kind of holders, but
Yeah, I know what you're
yeah.
saying.
So
Like they were there. That's
yeah,
what was they were
yep,
available
yeah. So we put them on over our shorts, and
over your
then we
shorts.
heard my older sister come down, and then like I like rolled up in like one of those like egg carton foam like mattress topper things that are like they're like bright teal, like a
Oh my
light
gosh.
teal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
To like
and I
cover.
still remember how that smelled. Yep. And I rolled up in that real fast.
Oh,
And she goes, "What are you doing in there? Get out!" And I go, like, "No." And then like she like ripped it off, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm telling mom." And I was like,
ah,
"No!" And you're like, what?
oh,
Dramatic,
that sucks.
like
That was your
Jennifer Love
first time.
Hewitt. And I know what you did last summer. What are you waiting for, mom? Just talk to me. But yeah, that was my first time. And then
Oh, fuck.
yeah, and then in
Oh no.
Chicago, I remember, and I had forgotten about it. And in
Oh,
Chicago, I stumbled across. Can I say website names? Lucas Entertainment.
uh,
And
that's we. I mean, I wish we were sponsored, but we're not. So I mean,
oh god, he's in. Oh, there are. I wish they would do more pan. I mean, duh. I always wish there were more. But I had no clue that there was a type of porn where, like, for me, right, as you know, like I like to see the hair on the legs through the pantyhose. It is
yes,
just
you
something
do.
that res my engine, as they
Hmm.
say somewhere, maybe.
Well, not always,
But
because I mean, I'm just saying I've revved your engine plenty, and I don't have hair, so
you need to do that in person. If you know,
rev your engine in
come on
person.
up to Chicago. I mean, there's space.
I I would come to Chicago, but you could come here. I've got space. Besides, Mister, I bought a Jeep and a couch.
Oh,
You guys,
the
he has
Jeep's
this most
gone.
magnificent couch. Like you could literally like
I,
you
That's
could
an
have
oh,
an
awesome
orgy
couch.
on it.
oh, I love it.
It's huge.
Mm-mm.
It's
It would
fantastic.
have to be. I would put like my waterproof or my like, liquid proof sheets all over this thing.
Carpet.
Uh,
You could tarp it up. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
oh yeah.
That's one thing
Tarp,
I
sure.
learned. Hosted an orgy, one and only time I ever did it. And the reason
Mm-hmm.
why I will never do it again is because nobody tells you what cleanup is like after those things are over. It's not like, it's not like a movie where you click it off after you finish. Oh, it is not glamorous. Oh, no, it's
What
not.
if
No.
and everyone, I'm sure, was super respectful of your space.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I remember having to make sure that the 19-year-old that had passed out in the bathroom because they had taken too much GHB was
Mm-mm.
not going to the guy who was standing there who wanted to shut the door and just sort of stay with them. I was like, you stay the fuck right there. You leave that door wide open and leave the light on, and you don't go near him. He is out for the count. Like,
Mm.
and
Good
like,
for
yeah.
you.
Oh,
Good
that
for
guy was like,
you.
he was like that Grim Reaper, and he was just like, yeah.
People, yeah, people
This
see that
one
as a target sometimes. That's not okay. You saved somebody. You were a bystander. Anyways, keep going. You know that's
it's in one
like
and one
that's
more quick
incredible
war
that you
story.
said
Like,
something.
and now mind you, this was actually happening. I had this guy was petting my dog on my couch. He's like, good doggy, good doggy, good doggy. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. He's petting my Shih Tzu. He was so far gone on the G that he was not aware that my dog was licking his balls.
I thought you were gonna say a stuffed animal. Oh,
And I was like,
mm-mm,
no, my
mm-mm,
baby, my baby. He's like, oh, why are you
mm-mm.
taking puppy? I'm like, because you're assaulting her, or she. But it was not, that was that, or the people making spaghetti on the stove, just putting the can of spaghetti on stove, just letting it sit there until it went. And
Ops.
yeah, so,
Mm-mm.
but anyway, back to
Yeah.
you. That was my little
Oh, my
diatribe.
favorite topic. Yeah.
I was wearing pantyhose at the time, although to tell you the truth, I wasn't really enjoying it because I I, I was too. You think hosting a dinner party is bad? I mean,
Mm.
imagine when you have like 10 gay men who are like, maybe let's say some of them are not of the like sober persuasion. Mm-mm, mm-mm. It was not fun. But anyway, the therapy, the pantyhose. How
Yeah.
did you get out of the thing with your? How did you? So your mom, you found out, and
I don't remember
that
anything
brings you
past
back to
that.
Lucas, and you wanted the hair,
Yep.
you wanted that, you
Yep.
never
It was like
realized.
masculine man, masculine man. That is what I am personally attracted to. And
Mhm.
I like to call it the unsuspecting bottom, is what I call it. Like when it's like, oh, that guy's got to be the top, damn it. And then when the the bigger, like more beefy guy ends up bottoming, I'm just like, what? And
It
like I could not. I was leaking. If you anyone has seen anything that I do, like there's a lot,
oh yeah,
and
like a
and
faucet.
I was so confused. I was so confused. I'm like, what? But it's in my mind at that time, before I educated myself, right? I was like, but I'm not into cross dressing. That's what I thought.
Oh
That's
wow.
how I thought it at that point. Yeah, and I'm like, but I'm not. And so it was like a shame thing. Buying that first pair, it was like I had a chubby while also being terrified because I I don't know. I avoided all my usual liquor stores that I would rotate, of course, because
Hmm.
no one would catch on every time I bought 4 bottles a day. But of wine, yes. But it was like a rush, and I would hide it from my husband at the time too.
I
And
think
I,
I think I remembered you being married, but I forgot. I didn't realize
mm,
that. Maybe I
yeah,
maybe I just forgot, or maybe you know what I mean? Like maybe I didn't want to think of it that way. Maybe, but I do now that you
I
mention it,
probably didn't say anything. I don't know. I
like,
because I was not proud of myself for doing these things behind his back. I
mm,
was a shit husband. Yeah, it played into some of my shame that like
gotcha.
I'm doing shitty things.
But let me
I'm
ask you something though.
no.
Okay, I won't,
Oh,
but I will. Do you think that this person would have been accepting of the pantyhose if you had like opened up to them about it?
oh no, I fucked him in them. No, we didn't really have sex. Like it's yeah, but he did not enjoy them, but
No,
he would do it and put
he
them
would. Yeah,
on. Yeah, and like we always make a pallet is what I called it. I don't know why. Is
a
that a southern
pallet.
thing? A pallet, like in front of the TV, like blanket, like a few
Yeah, that would be
blankets,
yeah,
and
that would be a
yeah,
palette. Yeah.
and then watch the world's most romantic show of SVU, and just like rub each other's legs and hose.
You
But
watch
he
a show
wasn't that
about
into.
murder and you're like, oh, is this getting you horny, baby? Oh yeah, look at
No,
that
no.
corpse.
It was like that was a thing. Like I married somebody that I was comfortable with as a human, but
Mm.
not as a sex partner, which is for my life, they need to go hand in hand.
I think for most people that's pretty
Yeah,
much the case, I would say.
and to
Like,
each their own, right? If it's not, but
I mean,
for
I
me,
think I agree with you. I am so glad to be in my 40s because the sex drive is curbing a little bit and I'm like, oh, thank God, I can get some work done. Because I mean, I don't know how, like, Rob, we never really got it. How were you ever discovered wearing when you were younger? Like,
Um, well, for me, all right. So for me, my first time wearing was back when I was in first grade. So I was about what, about
oh, oh, did you?
5 or 6. But
Yeah.
the fetish didn't really hit me until I was about 12.
Well, when you're that young, it might have hit you, but you just probably were not aware of what was going on. Like when you were little and you when you're little and you get a boner, you're like, oh, it's doing that thing again. You don't know
Oh
what's
yeah, yeah,
happening.
yeah.
You're
it's
just
Oh,
kind
I
of
not a
know
like,
what you.
sexual experience because we're not sexually
Yeah,
developed, right?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
kind of just
no,
like, okay, that's funny. Bang. Okay, it'll go down. Like I remember being like, oh, it's doing that weird thing.
yeah.
Okay, I'll just ignore it. Like it
But you were
was,
in like sixth grade then. What? Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
oh no,
No,
I was not in sixth grade when, like, I'm talking about when I was little. He was like in kindergarten when, and I was saying, like, do you think that like maybe you just didn't know what was going on when it
oh,
happened, the Rob? I mean, like the
yeah, I really didn't know what was happening at that point, but it wasn't until like way later when but I didn't realize I had as everybody would say, a thing. And I'm air quoting here, a thing. I didn't realize it was a fetish until way later. But all my girlfriends later on, were like, I would always have them wear pantyhose for me, and they would wear them like crazy because they knew that's what pushed my buttons,
mhm.
and to get me riled up, and as as he put it, to get him, get his drive going.
Yeah, we're
But
talking about a big erection.
no, but I'm getting to that.
Ah,
But I'm getting to that. But for me, when it came to wearing pantyhose itself, and just to get myself, a hell of an erection and everything, yeah, definitely when, during the summers, once I got a little older and I realized, oh God, I definitely got something going on here. It was a big turn on for me. I mean, massive turn on for me.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
I'm there with you.
but as as when I was younger, when things started popping up and all that, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when you realize when you did something, like, oh, that feels good. But then when stuff starts coming out and you're like, oh fuck, I done broke it.
You're like, oh no, I think I peed myself.
I think I done something. So like, why is that wet down there now?
They're like,
So
yeah, that was the worst. You're like, you wake up and you're like, did I spill some like oil? You're like, I don't know what it is. It looks like I broke like an egg over myself. Like,
yeah,
why
like what the hell?
why is it so crusty? Yeah. And the worst was like thinking about, like doing it in a sock and thinking like no one will ever know when they do my laundry. No
Oh
one will
yeah,
ever.
when your mom starts wondering why you go through tissue so damn quickly, it's
Oh God. Well, you know what? My mom, like, this was one time I
why
was
you go through
nearly,
tissue
I
so much?
was
I have allergies.
Yeah, well, I got caught one time, and this is the one time like my dad and he really like my dad's not a yeller, but like we were getting ready to go somewhere, and I was just about to like I was unbuttoning my pants to like do my thing. I was probably like 14 or 15, and my mom walks in. She's like, oh my God, and slams the door, and I hear my parents arguing. She's like to my dad, she's like, and I don't want to say his name, but she's like, Jay. He's like, what? He was in there. And she's like, what was he doing? Masturbating. My dad goes, so the hell what? Of course, like what's your problem? And I was like, thank you, Dad. Thank you for that. Because he got it. Like, boys will be boys. And if you have a
Yeah,
teenage boy, like knock on the door, like very firmly for like a good 10 knocks. And be like, are you decent? And then be like, I'll give you a few minutes just in case. Because but so were you ever discovered though by like a parent or somebody like where you had a shame connection based to it
for me or Jeff?
for you?
For me, there was. for me, there's no real shame to it. For me, it was more like I actually got lucky because I had a friend of mine at the time where I was living at. His dad was a legs distributor.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he had the van and everything parked in front
I
of
was thinking the
his
body parts. I'm like,
Oh no, no, legs with the
brah.
two G's.
Got it.
legs
Okay.
with legs with the two G's with the with back when it was the actual egg. Um,
I never
yeah,
got to open one of those.
Oh my
you never got
gosh.
one of the eggs? Oh my gosh,
No,
you missing
Rob,
something.
like, but those were in that was like the 80s. Like I was listening to Debbie Gibson on my vinyl. Like I was like, I wasn't going
Episode of
pantyhose shopping.
American Dad one of the characters did that, like cracked open this egg and put on hose. I go, what is this egg thing? Thank
It's
you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, speaking of that, I was actually at an antique store one time with my wife, and in this glass case, somebody actually had two pairs of the actual legs with the egg in there. They were like had them for like 10 or 15 bucks. I took pictures of it and put it on Instagram, and everybody, well, why the fuck did you not buy it? I'm like,
yeah.
because
Wrong
I'm not gonna
size,
pay I'm not gonna pay $10 to $15 for something that's like
dude.
like 30, 40 years old.
That's
You
like the
go to put them on,
Fabergé
they
eggs.
just shat. It's just like shred.
Oh
Right?
God, you know what? I mean, you got to
Yes.
give it a shot. I mean, you saw what if they turned to dust when you try to put them on? They could. Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
I'd be
that's
curious.
better. Yeah.
It'd be curious. I don't know. You know what, man? That makes me really want like a legs egg now. Like I think that's like a pantyhose wears like equivalent of a Fabergé egg, right? Like
It
it's
would
like
be, yes.
we need to find. Can we find them? Oh God, we need.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
either
you
that or
probably
I'm getting a
if you search hard enough, yeah.
Try
either
it on
that.
it's the World Wide Web. Do it.
What is
Try
this
it.
place?
Yeah. The World Wide Web, it's like, I guess, worldwide.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
Yeah.
whole world.
interwebs. The
It,
interwebs.
Now,
the,
is it a web like a spider's web or is
that's all the information I have. I'm not comfortable with what I've already shared because I'm not sure it's entirely true.
okay? All right, I get you. I get you. This is
So glad I
official
got that off my
government stuff.
chest.
You could probably get killed for even saying this. All right, I will keep it. Mom's a word. Don't tell anybody about this World Wide Web. We'll keep it. We'll keep it a local web. But I think after this episode, I'm going to find myself a legs egg, and I'm just going to stare at it.
I
That's it.
hope
That's all.
somebody sends you one like as a gift.
Oh,
Like,
that would be. Look, if
oh,
anybody
that'd
out
be
there
great.
does that, I will literally like
How
perform
kind would that be?
sexual
Literally
acts.
what? Hold on. Literally what? Because I might
Wow.
have to come buy it.
I don't know. I mean, I'll let you
the
have at me for 5 minutes. Like it'll be like I don't know, like what's that, 7 minutes in heaven or something? I'll just be like, like do
as
your
you're just laying
thing.
with like dust around you.
So hold
I'd be
on, let
like,
me try to put these on. Holy shit, they fell the dust, but it's
I
not the
would not be
bottom.
wearing the antique pantyhose during the 7 minutes in heaven, gentlemen. Like, let's
Oh, well, then how do you
Well,
prove
what
that you
the
enjoy
fun is
that?
that, man?
because I'd be wearing new pantyhose. Because if I'm going to let somebody like use my body, I'm going to be polite enough to wear fresh pantyhose. That's called manners.
What a gentleman and a scholar.
I am.
Man.
I'm such scholar. You know what else? No. Okay. So, but what's interesting, Rob, even though you keep dodging the question, so you never had like an adult figure catch you in the process of wearing or somebody
No.
rip you out.
No.
That explains a lot why you don't have the hangups about it, because I did get caught and I got sent to therapy, which
Really?
yeah,
It wasn't conversion therapy, was it?
well, no. But even if it was
but still,
failure,
it was as there's something wrong and needs to be
no,
fixed,
my parents
right?
were never, my parents did not, the gay thing was a non-issue. Like
The
never.
the whole
Yeah,
thing.
see, thankfully, now my mom, she realized I had a thing for pantyhose. She also was a very understanding woman. So if she even said, she goes, look, if you like men, that's fine. If you like women, that's fine. She goes, I still love you no matter what. I'm like, okay, good. Then I'm good.
Wow, in Virginia too. Like that's
I know, Bible Belt. I mean, seriously.
Mhm.
I
That's
was speaking it, but I was like, you guys both live down south. I don't know if I can
I
mention
live
that.
I live in Naples. Like I can wear pantyhose openly down here. No, honest to God, I wear. I mean, look, when I train clients, I wear pantyhose, and nobody's
I
ever
mean,
said that. Huh?
I believe you.
No, I mean, I have no
I
reason
have
to
zero
lie.
down my mind. Yeah. Oh
What?
yeah.
What?
I have zero down my mind. Yeah,
Oh,
I
if
know.
you have
It's I
doubt,
have
I'll.
this. I have this, and I talk against stereotypes all the time, right? And I hate that I have them, right? It's like, and I just picture everyone just being like, "We're men, and we have the sexiest accents in the world, besides Australian, which, by the way, you do a great impression."
I thank.
And
I know, right? I do get Aussie.
He does the best Aussie accent. I do more of a Cockney
Your
what is
Cockney's
that?
and right.
English.
You're Cockney.
Oh,
You're like, hello,
My
my
co-
name's
my co- my
Steve.
Cockney's it's not it's, my Cockney's not very good, but I try. You know.
No, but I love you anyway. You are
Yeah.
you are wonderful. But you do have that announcer voice down, that like video, that like radio announcer. Watch him
Oh
do
yes,
intro.
that's right. Yeah, I had just to tell Jeff, I used to have a radio show years ago. It was called the Wake Up Dead Morning Show, and I did Saturday mornings. And so I would come in, and, and you would hear this, it's like ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Freak Show, and then I'd go through the music. I said, and then you would come in. I was like, all right, everybody, you tune into the only hard rock and metal station on the internet, guaranteed to cure that Friday hangover, a cause one in the process. That's right, my friends. This is the Wake Up Dead Morning Show with your host, Mandy, and with the fuzzball behind the mic, DJ speaking, is always barking at your live loudscast here in the beautiful capital city of the Old Dominion, Richmond, Virginia. Good day, good talk, dober dan, buenos dias, bonjour, buongiorno, and for all my Aussie friends out there, g'day, mates. What is up?
They
this is amazing.
Right. And it's amazing too, because the radio announcers, they don't even have to make sense when they're talking. They can just be like, blah, 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 blah. But he just, because you have that tone and you have that vibe. But
I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what he's saying, but just keep saying
but
words.
I like it. It's
just keep saying it.
There's a cadence to it. But whoa, oh my goodness. You got an upskirt up there. Like, hey, your OnlyFans would love that shot of
Yes, they would.
Rob just tossed back in laughter, and he fell, and his legs sort of went up in the air, and it was a sight to see. I'm just saying, and again, Patreon, everybody who wants to see this on Patreon, Jeff's very intently looking.
I'm just picturing. I love when people fall safely. It's just my favorite.
Oh, you mean like a pratfall or something?
I'm picturing, like, did you actually like fall? Like, I'm picturing like computer chair tip over legs.
Oh, can you not see us because of your setup?
Oh, it switches between. I don't even touch settings on Zoom.
Whenever somebody talks, and it switches to that person who talks.
Yeah.
I
And
see.
then whenever I try and mess with it, anyways, it's just not worth trying, because then it
Hey,
just
Rob,
does something.
put your legs in the air again to do what you did.
All right, so basically, I would laugh, and I was just kind of like this,
Oh, I love. Oh, I thought this was something that had happened in the past.
No, it happened here.
Oh,
he totally
right
missed it
here,
when my bed actually, the back of my bed started rising for no damn reason, and I'm sitting there going, "What the fuck is going on over here? Did I hit the remote again?"
You guys, I think look, okay, so I'm having so much fun with Jeff right now. I mean, like we're gonna have to keep having him on. I think it's just gonna,
we got to bring him back on.
yeah, we're gonna have to keep having you on. Like, I think you will agree to this now, right? Because
are you
honestly,
I thought you were gonna say that it was such a disappointing feedback kind of thing. Kind of,
are you
like,
serious?
that's where my mind went when you had called me, and then like I go, fuck yeah.
Really?
Because it's just like for me, this is just such a natural flow of conversation, and I love it.
It is
Well, he appreciated my accent, so you're totally coming back. I don't care what King says.
First of all, I have been talking to him for much longer than you, so I am staking claim in that. Thank you. Okay.
I want to make it very clear.
Not a problem.
Dibs. I call dibs. But what is it?
Like, let me have my team get back to you. Send an
he's
application.
taken. By God. But if that doesn't work out, I'm next in line.
Oh, future ex-husbands. Oh, thanks.
But no, it's honestly because, and the thing about it is, Geoff, is that like I was blown away, like when, because I mean, I've done, I dabble in the erotic arts, as it were. Very few of us are willing to take our pantyhose fetish and reveal it publicly, especially over the years, because there's such a stigma against it. But what I'll say, and I think it's something that we can be proud of. Like we all have embraced it and, come around to accept it. But I think out of all of us, Geoff, you have gone the full distance because while I've taken pictures of myself in the act, like, and maybe like a few second clips of say like some, action, you've done full blown like videos where it's a good half an hour and it's happening and you're doing it with the intent of, like actually doing a production of it,
I think that's a huge. I think, and I don't. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say, and because it's something I always think. What am I wanting to see? And if I'm able to, like, I legitimately, it was such a difficult search to find porn or adult film, whatever. And
it's
with
fine. YouTube stops
yeah,
paying attention after the first 20 minutes or
so I'm
something.
like, I want to get the best. I want to get the angles that I want to see, and it's like, I know that other guys are into this too, women to others, right? And I don't know if people watch it, cool. If people don't, it was fun to
I know
make.
for a fact that people watch it. I've had people ask me if I know you. They're like, no, I mean,
You're
look,
being serious?
yeah, I'm being absolutely serious. I had one guy who was like the actual reason that I first reached out to you to be on the show was because this guy wrote and goes, he posted the video in a Discord chat and he said, this is the hottest pantyhose porn I've ever seen. I wish this guy would do more. Do you know who he is? Do you know anything about him? And I was like, actually, I do. Because I mean, I know everybody. So it's just something I do. I love networking in the pantyhose community. So, but
No,
yeah, yes, I do.
you're one of
But
the first people that I got directed to in
well, that's
when Nylon Men was a thing.
oh
Yeah, but
wow.
sorry, keep
Oh,
going, keep going.
that takes me back. Nylon man. Jeez, crow.
Right.
How
Wow.
many did you know about that, Rob? I don't think you probably did.
No, no, I'm no. I've only known you just as Pantyhose King, but you and I go
Oh,
back quite a bit.
no, I mean Nylon Men was a site.
Okay, okay. I got it mixed up with something else.
Do you know
Like
who
Sorry.
I
2 weeks
was?
after I discovered it, it disappeared. I'm like, no, no. What did I press? You know,
I
like,
think I think that site was run by someone who oddly, and I don't want to name names, but this person seems to have a new website every like 6 months where they post these videos of themselves and they look great in pantyhose and everything and like come shots all like great whatever, but they always seem to have a new domain every 6 months and these videos never seem to like they don't seem to age, whereas it seems to be like I get a sneaking suspicion that somebody's private collection has been snatched and being rehashed over and over again. I'll talk about this person afterwards after we're off the air because it's very odd. Like that
you
this
Inspector Gadget.
oh yeah, I'm a journalist, baby. I knew things, but it's it's really wonderful to hear you say that because the main mission that I really take, and more so than doing anything sexual, which for me it was the Pantyhose King thing was not even like it was that name was given to me before Pantyhose King. I was SSQ man, and why was I that? Because I like an 80s synth band called SSQ, and that was the only thing I could think of when I was fapping and looking for a name on Yahoo. Like that's it. Nothing deeper than that. I had people call me the Pantyhose King, and then all of a sudden I had this persona put on me where it was like you have to be, the dom, and I embrace that, like the very like, yeah, I'm gonna wear pantyhose, and I enjoyed it. It had a lot of fun, but it was a character, and then the name just stuck, kind of took, and people recognized me for that. But it's it's always been for me more than anything about like people accepting who they are as wares and being cool with it. And you are like an example of somebody who got over the serious shit that most people struggle with their entire lives. You not only got over it, you like kicked it down the street and like we're like never come back. You
I love it. I want to make it clear though. I love it if it comes off that way. I still struggle with it, for sure. I don't
That's
wear
fine.
these in small town Iowa, like,
That's
and that
fine.
is my personal comfort, right? But like so, but yes, I just don't want to feel like I'm not being fully honest. That's
You
all.
are well.
That's why I
Look,
said that. Yeah,
you don't have to. You can be honest, but I'm saying like it's and that right there is why you are so exemplary, is because you're being honest about the human condition. Such, I mean, and if we're all being
sure.
honest, like, of course there are times where I'm like, I don't know if I look the best in the pantyhose today. Like I'm like, oh, I wish I looked a little more like ripped here or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
those insecurities, they never
Yeah.
go away. Like,
Right. And it's like me. It's like me with my kilts. It's like if I'm wearing a kilt and everything, I'm going to be wearing suntan pantyhose because I don't want people to, equate something else with it. But on the other hand, if I'm wearing shorts, like, I mean, I had on like camouflage shorts, but I got on black pantyhose. No no big deal. It's like I'm very self-conscious about how I dress.
uh-huh. Yeah, everybody is, I think. I think if you're not admitting that, then you're lying. Everybody has that like voice
The
inside
hang
them.
up.
Yeah. But it is also the proof of it, the thing that really truly matters is that in the end you're still showing people who are at another, like they're in chamber after chamber of being locked up with
Yeah.
they're wearing, like they're in a cage inside a cage inside a cage, and they're looking at you and they're seeing like, well, that's somebody who has like they want to, like, you're aspirational. And so that's what I think you should
Yeah.
be proud of and embrace, is because regardless of whether you feel insecure, it doesn't matter, because for men out there who are like lived their entire lives locked away, you are an inspiration. Same with you. I mean, Rob, you were one for me before I was even when I was stepping out of the scene. You had already been on the scene for like 7 years. I mean, Rob's, if you're not one of the earliest, you might be the earliest public wears that I've known of. I mean, like,
Oh wow.
I think so. I think that you were the first guy that I saw that showed their face.
Does that make
And
you an
Okay.
icon, Rob?
yeah, it does.
Me and icon. You know what? I've actually been called that, but I'm like,
You're a
I don't
legend
know if
and
I
an
would.
icon.
I would say
Sorry, I
legend,
interrupted you
maybe.
again. Sorry.
That's okay. No, no. I mean, I no. I've had people sit there and say icon or a legend. I mean, that's great. I thank you for the
Kiss my
for the
ring. Continue
Mm-hmm.
on.
yeah. Kiss it right now.
Kiss the
No, but
Cecilia de Raphael, please.
yeah, just kiss the Cecilia to Raphael right now. So, but no, but no,
Mind the teeth.
seriously. What's that?
And mind the teeth.
Oh, mind the T. Yes. Hold on. Where's the pinky? Where's the pinky? Gotta have the pinky up when you do that T.
My pinky?
Yes.
This is my pinky,
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Gotta have the pinky up.
But no,
That's
I'm
what a
messing with you.
pinky is.
you are iconic, because there are people who have spent their like, because you think about it, like think about our, like the average wearer who is, and I don't want to say closeted because it's such a gross simplification, but let's just say somebody who's like, who, for lack of a better word, is closeted about it. They're in a place where they feel like they cannot even reveal anything. Like it's a private,
Mhm.
like hell. Some people are in it because they have no choice. If you're in a situation where wearing pantyhose could put you in danger, if there's
Yep.
violent, of
For
like,
sure.
that's a real
Absolutely.
thing. There are also people who are out there who are living in self-imposed prisons, like all of us to some degree, except for I think Rob, really. I mean, it sounds like you kind of were, you managed to dodge that shame game thing.
That's
Yeah,
so awesome.
I managed to dodge it just because of my condition, but at the same time, it was like it's like, look, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to fully embrace it. If I'm going to represent, I'm just go out there and just put it out there. And I got to the point, it's like I didn't want nobody to hold anything over my head. I mean, I know with where I work at, people would do shit like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show, like, if when we were on strike, I just showed up on the picket line, shorts, pantyhose, everything. And they were like, what the fuck? And boom. And I have not been bothered with ever since
Well,
because
that's the thing, right?
because I'm unabashed about it.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like if somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Are you?" And I've had this happen to me. Are you wearing pantyhose? Yes. Why? Well, as I
Why
like to.
not? Because I
It's
like
like I
to.
like
Why
to.
not?
Yeah.
And they're
It,
usually that's the end of the conversation. There's not going to be anybody who's going to be like, "Well, wearing is wrong." I'd be like, "Okay, cuckoo bird. Like, are you going to
you're
have a
right.
like? Are you going to have an emotional breakdown right now because of my legs? Because if so, thank you. But because
I
that's
would go into counselor mode and be like, "Are you doing okay? What can I do to help?"
right. You could
Get
just
you
be
through
like,
this
"So,
moment.
is it my legs? My legs are upsetting you. I'm sorry. Is that a
I'm so
problem?"
sorry that you're going through this.
Excuse me, I
Tell
just
me
have to
more.
itch myself right all the way up my
Uh,
leg and back again. What was that problem you have with the pantyhose that you can't stop staring at? I mean, honestly, it's anybody. The people who are going to ask are just going to be passingly. They're curious.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they're just going to want
or
to know.
or
Are you?
judgmental, or right? I don't. They can be. It's a
Well,
direct
Yeah,
okay.
and
Have
Jeff
reflection
you
on
has a
the
had
point.
email.
Jeff has a point.
Have you had anybody openly judge you about it in public? Like come at you?
In public, no. I
Right.
feel very safe where I wear them.
Right.
And but yeah, but I have zero clue. You know how I keep updated with online stuff. I have zero clue how many, if I get any messages or like
Yeah.
how
You.
much hate mail, if there is any. I don't know.
You are
Love that you
notoriously
guys did that, by the way.
He does not. If you've ever written Jeff and he didn't respond, do not take it
Oh,
personally. Jeff
for sure.
responds once every 7 years.
If yeah. Also,
Yeah.
oh, that reminded me with that guy, the never aging with the different uh through the years and the
Hmm.
different websites.
Yeah.
Like, I have so many hours of footage that I'm just like, I my brain to sit down and like cut things out, right? And just like to do any editing, it is so over. It's just like a huge task. I'm just like, fuck it. I have so many hours. I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
Are you saying that
so,
you need? Are you saying that perhaps Tight's frame of mind could become a sub? Like maybe we'll do an offset of Tight's frame of mind presents Jeff. Uh, I think I'm for it. I would be. I'd be happy to look. Look if you've got stuff out there that you're not putting out,
oh
you're
yeah.
sitting on like you're just leaving money on the table. Mm, Can't let that happen. That's a sin and a half. And you know what? And I think that what we will do is because it's getting late and we're gonna have to part two this. Oh, Rob's in the waiting room. We lost a Rob. Rob?
Oh, sorry, I kicked him out. I was just like, oh, I'm so sick of that icon.
Oh yeah, you don't want to deal with like it's like I cannot be outshone by an icon right now. Rob, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Hold on. I got knocked out for some strange reason.
Oh, you know what's so crazy on my screen and what everybody will see here is there. Oh, there we go. There was a frozen Rob, and I did not realize that you were frozen because it was just like I have this habit of look because the way my screen is, I have everybody at once happening. So I watch people as it's happening, and Rob was just like this.
Yeah,
But
because I had gotten the text. I had gotten the text, and I was trying to check the text there.
is
Yeah.
it was it from a client?
No, it was actually from a spouse in the other room.
Spouse in the other room. Speaking of, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this up because we got more to talk to Jeff about. Jeff's coming back on again, right, Jeff? You are.
Absolutely.
Jeff,
Okay,
you must agree.
I'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Oh well, I'm just saying we got to end the show now, but we can still chat afterwards. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying
Oh,
we are finishing the podcast now.
I always
Subtle.
forget what I don't think about this stuff. You guys are the
It's
ones running the
okay.
magic. Yeah. I always
Oh
assume
my
everyone
god.
disappears when they shut off.
Yeah, the world goes dark, but you guys, this has been great. Thank you so much again. We really, I mean, honestly, Geoff, you're coming back on, and emphasis on the coming. Speed King, any last thoughts before you go and do your spousal duties?
Yes. Don't do drugs. Don't do alcohol. Wait a second. I do. Never mind. Wrong.
Oh,
Wrong podcast.
I'm high on everything right now. It's so too
I'm
late.
high on life right now.
Mhm.
Geoff.
Yeah.
First of all, Geoff. Once again, it is great talking to you again. I always, so far, I enjoyed talking with you. I can't wait to have you back because I have not laughed this much since, I don't know, the last podcast. So
I cannot think about it. It was something where we were laughing so hard, and I cannot remember what it was. I kept thinking about
All that
like
matters is the laughter. That's all that matters.
that's right.
Oh, yes. Oh, you guys are awesome. I think it's incredible that you started this, and I believe truly that it helps a lot of people process through own self-acceptance, and it's something that has changed my life. And as long as I am safe, I fully accept myself. Right.
Well, you should, because
And
you are seriously, like, I've said this before about other people, but you're one of the few people that I know that, like, I'm proud of the evolution that I witnessed. It gives me hope.
oh, for sure.
Gives
I
everyone
went from
hope.
somebody who couldn't function to, I guess I never even thought about it as like, what'd you say? Producing. We have to go. Just shut me up.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, what we'll do is we will end the program now, and then we will have our private sesh later after this. So thank you all for staying. Thank you all for listening, and we will talk to you all soon on the flip side or whatever. What do they say? Radio
You're
close
so
out.
Until
I don't
next
know
time.
about that.
See ya.